All right, fellow Tulsi Krats and people who would like to see our country, I don't know, normal again? How's that for a slogan? Let's make America normal again. I am Dave, and I would say aloha to everybody. And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for Patreon. Thank you for PayPal. It's been tough the last couple of weeks because I really thought that, with 3,000 subscribers and still going up, I thought, hey, maybe the revenue will happen. But you know what's been happening? The adpocalypse has gone into part two because of that guy last week and Steven Crowder and all this stuff. And so they're doing more purging. So I have to say that anybody who speaks differently from what the normal narrative is, and when I say normal, I don't mean normal in a good way. I mean, you got to stay right down this lane. Too far to the left, too far to the right, you're in trouble. Which is crazy because we're supposed to have debate, and people are supposed to have differences. We're not all supposed to think the same way. Even if you disagree with me, okay, it's healthy to have disagreements because those disagreements eventually give birth to ideas or really good compromises or a little bit of your opinion and a little bit of my opinion, and then we reach a better opinion. All right, so here is Tulsi Gabbard, courtesy of Nico House on Twitter. This clip is amazing. She's talking about the media. She's talking about how people are making political calculations when they run for office. And we've been seeing this forever. There are retweets of this in real time happening as I am sitting here speaking with you. Let's play the clip. I'm going to let the clip roll twice. It's only 18 seconds, and it's worth every second.
Statements made by different leaders in Congress have been all about the political calculation.
Yep.
Which for me, for everyday Americans, are like, that. Seriously, I'm sick and tired of you guys playing politics. Talk about what's real.
Talk about what's real. Okay, I'll run it again because I'd like to hear it again because it's a rare time where I would say this level of profanity in a video from an elected official, it really works this time for me. I know I've railed against it. I rail against it when it's gratuitous. I rail against it when commentators are like, F and this, and it's just like every other word, and they're trying to be edgy and cool, and hey, I want to appeal to the younger people who are, they basically swear when they get up in the morning, and they swear when they're looking around, and they can't, when they're looking around, and they can't construct a sentence without throwing a few of those edgy expletives in there. In this case, Tulsi Gabbard just kills this because it's appropriate, because she understands we don't want political calculations. We don't want people saying, well, if I say this, I'm going to lose some support over here. You know what? People want sincerity and reality, and this is why Tulsi Gabbard is the best candidate I've seen in my lifetime. I'm throwing, she is the best, and I'm gonna again play this again because it's so good.
Statements made by different leaders in Congress have been all about the political calculation, which for me, for everyday Americans, are like, that. Seriously, I'm sick and tired of you guys playing politics. Talk about what's real.
Talk about what's real. I'm tired of you guys playing politics. All right, so Tulsi Gabbard could start her own movement. She could. And I think if a corporatist ends up being the nominee, I think there's a chance that she might do that. Because I cannot see her putting up with the same BS. Now, the only thing that would stop her is she would say to herself, well, is this selfish? Is this self-indulgent? Am I better serving the country by being like a voice in the wilderness out here? Or do I need to do an end run around some of this and get to what's real? Because that's what she's saying here. Americans want Tulsi Gabbard and everybody else to get to what's real. And we haven't had that in politics in generations. The whole political system, the whole structure is corrupt. The media surrounding it is corrupt. This military-industrial complex. Trump, by the way, even if you don't like Donald Trump, he gets elected, and the first thing that happens is people who had nothing to do with the process are trying to undermine the process, are trying to destroy his presidency. He wasn't supposed to win, and so we need to fix that because the people spoke. Now, maybe they didn't know how to vent their frustrations properly. Maybe they didn't understand that, say, hey, Jill Stein would have been a better choice than Donald Trump, but Jill Stein, I don't think, was on the ballot in all 50 states. And let's be honest, Jill Stein probably didn't have a chance to win. But imagine in a world where voices, Jill Stein probably had 1 or 2% in polls. She deserved a platform. She deserved to be on that stage. And Gary Johnson, too, even though he was a hideous candidate. So I think Tulsi Gabbard here, win or lose, all right? This begins a movement. And I know Bernie's out there. Bernie's kind of a wild card. If Bernie gets to the finish line and becomes the nominee, and Tulsi's not the nominee and Bernie is, Tulsi could still be the nominee, folks. She is the #1 most talked about candidate on social media. She is. She is. Her social media profile, and if you look at activity, it's between her and Bernie, and it varies, but Bernie has this other, like this big network of people that signed on early in the game, whereas Tulsi is just getting more and more momentum as time goes on. She's starting to kind of peak right at a good time, at least via social media, because in a couple of weeks, she's going to be on the debate stage. And this all could just catapult her candidacy into the stratosphere. And then watch the knives, watch the smears. They're all coming out after that happens. So, again, Tulsi Gabbard using some colorful language here. Channeling our frustration with the political system and doing it, this is the kind of leader I want in the White House. This is somebody who doesn't care about politics in the sense that if she does this, it's going to offend somebody, or if she takes this position, she wants to get stuff done, and I think she understands that there's a log jam, and the only way to get through it might be to go around it. And I've been saying this for a long period of time. And what does that really look like? Well, again, it's not going to happen in the Democratic or Republican parties. It's not. But we still have to stay the course and see this process through. And then, and I know there are people that are still bruised and burned from what happened to Bernie Sanders in 2016. So, hey, things are ripe for the picking right now as far as a movement. And a woman like this, man, she'd just be a great president. She would be just a great president. And we can just hope. We can hope that she actually gets the nomination. But we all have to keep plugging away. And that goes for me too. I've been discouraged. But if you can help me out, folks, Patreon, I will post a link or an email for my PayPal account if you want to just do a one-time gift, a few bucks here and there. It goes a long way. It keeps me from being discouraged, and it will allow me to do more videos, and hopefully we can push Tulsi over the top. All right, done, and I'll be back soon. See you then.